fastest show in sports.
I don't want to hear another thing about TV ratings for the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup Finals, the World Series. I I mean, I understand. I kind of do want to know like the final numbers. I don't want to know on an absolute game by game basis or this breathless analysis of it. I don't care. When I was watching the Stanley Cup final, especially the first four games, which the first four games we were on track for easily the greatest Stanley Cup final ever. I didn't care if anybody else was watching. Fine, you don't want to watch. That's your business. For whatever reason, if you're a hockey fan, you don't want to watch. You're missing it. You were missing. That was on you. You're missing.
Granted.
Great final. I don't. I've gotten the point. I don't care who else is watching. If this is sports entertainment. If that sport is entertaining me, if that game is entertaining me, if that race is entertaining me, if that event is entertaining me, and I'm watching it, it's over a number of days or whatever. I've stopped caring how many other people are.
Well, the ratings are only for the bubble-headed bimbos out there, and mostly in television, but certainly in a lot of the print, who simply want something useless to talk about, because ratings don't mean shit anymore. They just don't.
Yeah,
because
there's
of
really measured.
I don't have my phone here. I was going to say I'm going to grab my phone and say this is the reason why the ratings don't make a difference anymore.
Well, there's so many other. David, I'm sorry, David. You're right. There's so many other metrics now to measure interest that have nothing to do with TV. Right? I mean, so many shows are on streaming. So much of a sports interest in a country or a demographic is tied to their digital interest and how many clicks they're getting online. TV ratings are just a small part. The TV ratings are basically for the network contracts and their sponsors. They don't necessarily tell you what's going on with the money that's surrounding the sport like it used to. And the NBA Finals, the NBA Finals, they made a huge deal about for all the small market ugliness, and everybody said this was going to be awful. This is the best finals ratings in 6 years. Well, it could have been LA and Boston. It could have been India. They went to Game 7. So great, good for them. I hope it means that there's a new generation of NBA stars that people care about and like, but it just goes to show you, small market, big market, team that you care about, star power. If you like it, who gives a damn?
If you like it, you watch it. I mean, look, it's like hockey.
You watch it.
You know, I'm a big hockey fan. I watch hockey. Why? I like it. I don't watch basketball. Why? I don't really care for basketball that much. Soccer, same thing.
You don't like you don't like you. Yeah.
But I'm not a dyed-in-the-wool fan, and not only that, but a lot of the advertisers these days don't care that much about television ratings, and I've had this explained to me before from friends of mine who buy the time, because when you're on social media, when you get on your phone, there are clickable links that you can go to the website, you can go to specials, you can get whatever that they're offering at that point on your phone. Can't do that on television. You can sit there and you can watch the ad, and you can put up a QR code. Nobody's got their phone to sit there and go, here, let me put my phone next to the TV so I can get the QR code. But when you're watching it on the phones, you can go anywhere, and the advertiser knows that. You can send them off to any site, any sort of marketing special, any sort of public relations that they're working, any sort of interview. This is where the audience is these days. So that's why ratings are just for people who cover television on the news platforms anymore, and all they want is a liner note or something to sit in there, or the ass clown sitting on another show somewhere who hates hockey and who says, "Oh, this is the reason why hockey sucks in America, is because the ratings are bad and nobody wants to watch it." They don't make all their money off the ratings. It's all it is just claptrap, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the business of gaining audience and sports has so completely changed, and from 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and
From
But yeah,
when we were in our prime.
no, but I have gotten
I'm
tired.
still in
Long
my
ago, got tired
prime.
of. I if I'm enjoying something, if I like it, I'm good. I'm good with you not watching it. Okay, fine. But I find interesting the way, as Ed said, they're advertisers and the the smarter sports organizations
The leagues,
have
yeah.
really, yeah. I remember the NBA was one of the first to really aggressively, go onto social media, get into, because they realized the worldwide reach of it, and the NFL fought it for a while, went, then figured, okay, that's crazy. We're standing at the shore, trying to hold back the tide. The NHL followed the NBA quicker, and now one of the things that's interesting to me, and it's interesting to me also because it to me it relates to the media overall media business when you're talking about reaching a younger audience that's a lot of the so-called legacy media is not reaching.
The younger
I'm
audience
seeing
doesn't sit and doesn't look. The younger audience, David, doesn't go home and say, "Oh, the game's on at 8 o'clock, honey. We better be home. We got to get dinner done real early. Let's go out to the restaurant. Let's have a couple of beers. We got to be home by 8 o'clock for the game." No, they're taking their phone and they're propping it up on the bar, and they're watching it through a link somewhere.
although I did do it with the big LSU Iowa college women's game with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese a couple of years ago. We I had a younger Gen Z, older Gen Z partner on our blog or our podcast, and he's like, we gotta move the podcast up, man. We got to get it done. Can we do it at 6:30? I was like, you want to be done by the game, don't you? So, oh yeah, we got to be done by the game.
Tape it.
But no, it is true that they don't watch the same way, and also like the organizations, the World Electric Car Racing Championship, Formula E, has really good reach in the United States for something that has like 22% recognition. But part of the reason they have that reach is they're very incredibly aggressive on all media platforms, streaming, social media, a jillion different streaming networks. They're super aggressive there. And so they're not on any kind of network. I think the closest thing they're on to a network is CBS Sports Network on certain providers. But they get good raw TV numbers, they get good raw online numbers, and they've really grown as a series. And it's kind of interesting to me to watch what they've done and to think, okay, what are they doing? And can we, like say at the Miami Herald, what can we take that and apply it to what we need to do to reach our more of an audience, and especially the younger audience, which is what that series is doing.
That's all, folks.